we go.
Okay, we're live, but we're gonna work on connecting to the other page, so just bear with us for a second.
Oh, there we go.
We have to go through, you know, we try to connect both Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals and the Prepared Homestead because we have different people that watch. And maybe everybody from the Prepared Homestead should just like go over and like Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals, and then you can jump into this much easier. The other thing is, if you're watching from the Prepared Homestead, we're not going to see your comments.
Yes.
So it really would be easier if you're watching from the Prepared Homestead to jump over to Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals, like my page. Yes, I'm telling you to like my page. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Sean. And then we can see what you're actually saying, and we can see when you're signed in, so I can like call you out.
Yeah.
Some people like that, some people don't. So maybe if you don't like being watched, then don't stick over to the Prepared Homestead. I just have to share a little something here, because if you watched my live, I don't know, a few weeks ago on nettles, yeah, I told you about my dog, and we have three dogs. I don't know. Two of them are livestock guardian dogs, and one of them is sort of a homestead dog. It's what is it? What kind of dog is it? It's a collie. Yeah, right? Border collie. Yeah, and he follows me everywhere. He's my dog. He just, everywhere I am, he is. And
very needy.
He's clingy. He's very, very clingy, except at night. Now he follows the cat. So because we got a cat, he follows the cat. He doesn't need to sleep with me anymore. Anywho's, and whenever I go out and go wildcrafting, he comes with me. However, the problem is that wherever I wildcraft, he decides to urinate. Right. So if I don't get it fast enough, it's now covered in pee.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened today. I was gathering the mullein to share with everybody how to make this tincture, and I went out to get more so I could actually make kind of a larger jar. And I went back, and he had peed on it. So I didn't bring that in. I know I could have washed it. It just kind of grossed me out. I was like, dude, stop following me. Stop peeing where I touch.
I know.
Anywho's, today what I'm going to talk about is fires and how to, first of all, decrease your exposure to smoke, and then a couple of remedies that can help you kind of get over a little bit of the symptoms that may come with smoke exposure. Here it gets really, really bad. And almost every single summer that we have been here, there have been wildfires everywhere.
And people are saying that the summer is going to be really bad.
Well, yeah, because we didn't have much. Yeah, we didn't have much rain.
No, and we're already getting smoke from Canada, and it's beginning in June. People are saying that Washington is just going to be on fire this summer. So
yeah, it's really hazy outside already. Our air quality hasn't gone down. That's one thing I'm really grateful for right now. But some things that you can do to help alleviate your smoke exposure is try not to go outside that much. Mm-hmm. If you're a runner, like Lindy was just mentioning going running yesterday, and I was like, really? It's kind of smoky outside. But anyway, if you do that kind of outdoor running or outdoor exercise when it's smoky, that actually is bringing more of the smoke particles into your lungs, not less. So try and find somewhere you can do that indoors. Go to a gym where you can run on a treadmill, or maybe there's some gyms that have those. I know you're going around and around and around, especially if you're Heidi, because she does long distance running, or drive somewhere where there's no smoke, which is really, really hard when you're surrounded by it. Like seriously, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, BC, it's just like smoke everywhere all over the West. But try to keep things indoors. If you have central air, lucky you, you're spoiled. We don't, and I'm already hot. Like right now,
air.
I'm sweating. It's hot in here. Yeah, we have to use outside air, and we actually have a whole house fan, which cools it down great at night. However, when we are having smoke and it's really bad outside, that is not what we don't want to be sucking all the smoke into the house. So yeah, so if you have air conditioner and you have that central air, run that at night. And I know it's like, especially some people men, I don't know what your problem is, men are more concerned about electricity than women are. And they're walking around shutting everything off, like, who turned that on? Why is the AC so low? But keep it on even if you don't want to, because it does clean the air. Other options, air purifiers that you can put in the house, or filters that you can put on fans that can kind of filter some of the air, and especially where you're sleeping. Don't let your kids outside all day, even though it feels like you're trapping them in and you're not giving them fun. It's better than getting that smoke into your lungs and causing a lot of issues. Because smoke is one of those things that decreases your body's ability to detoxify. It increases the free radicals in your body, and then it requires more inputs in order to detoxify well. So what are some things that we can do, Lindy?
We can eat more fruits and vegetables.
Eat more fruits and vegetables.
Antioxidants.
Yeah, and then increase your water intake if you are exposed to smoke.
Yeah, pretty much anything that's going to support your liver and help you flush any kind of toxins out will help, because as you breathe in, it's getting absorbed into your bloodstream, going straight through your liver.
Yeah.
So I learned that in her school.
She's so smart. She's, well, I'm not going to say she's one of my best students, because I have a lot of really great students that are so motivated and really awesome. Today, though, I'm going to share a couple of remedies that you can do at home that if you are getting exposed to some of the smoke, you can walk out, hopefully gather some of the mullein, which is the first thing I'm going to talk about, and then also some marshmallow, which is really soothing and mucilaginous, so it kind of goes in, and I don't know, when you're breathing in that smoke, it irritates the throat and the upper respiratory tract, it irritates the nose, and even can dry out the mouth. And so this, being very mucilaginous, very soothing, can come in and really create more moisture in your throat, and it spreads throughout the whole entire system. It's kind of bizarre how it works.
It's like a moisturizer for the inside of your body.
For the inside of your body. It just increases the mucus and things like that.
Yeah, and it's not just a surfacey thing. It's something that actually triggers your body to produce more mucus. So it's your body is protecting. It's not just kind of like a topical fix like lip balm or something.
Exactly. Now, the difference between marshmallow and some other herbs that you might prepare is that it is best, if you're trying to get the mucilin out, the mucilaginous stuff, to do it as a cold infusion. That means that you're never going to pour any hot water over it. You need to make sure that it stays cold. How it enters the water is through displacement. Like as it gets saturated with the herb at the top, that moves down to the bottom because of weight. It displaces the water that hasn't been saturated yet, and that moves up. And so it works its way through and creates this really nice, kind of gooey, gooey thing.
It's a little disturbing.
Yeah. So normally I weigh, and I did weigh today. I am using a 16-ounce jar. I would recommend, though, if you're making this, to do it with about 32 ounces instead. I'm going to only use a ½ ounce of the herb because I'm using 16 ounces. Normally you would do a 1 to 32. So 1 ounce herb to 32 ounces of water. And the reason I use the smaller one is just because it was easier to show. But the reason I tell you to make more is because guess what? You can freeze it. And that is a wonderful way to have this available without having to let it sit there for 4 to 8 hours.
Right.
It takes a long time. Now, oh, I didn't bring water. Can you get me water in that one right there? The one thing you're going to do is make sure that this stays up at the top. Either tie it up there or hold it on with the jar lid, or however you need to do it. I probably used a bag that was a little too big for this jar size. But go ahead and just prepare that, set it up there. I normally do moisten this slightly before I put it in there because it has a tendency to not want to, kind of sink in, it sort of floats up. So I just kind of moisten it, just sort of moving it with my hands. Make sure your hands are clean. And then put it in there, pour the water on. And then like I said, you're going to let it sit 4 to 8 hours. You can let this sit overnight. That's perfectly fine. And just, well, I'm gonna have to do this weird thing here, and it's gonna cling, and it's sort of this halvesy thing. But it's gonna sit here now for 4 to 8 hours, and that will make this nice gelatinous water. When it is done, squeeze the bag out, and you'll see even more like gel-like stuff coming out. And you'll have this nice, soothing tea or drink that you can consume if your throat is feeling irritated. It's great for any throat irritation. When I had a really bad tickly cough, I drank some marshmallow, and it really soothed. I was just thinking, Lindy and I were talking, and I was thinking, you know what, this would be a great thing, especially if your kids are playing outside, or I don't know, whether, I mean, really, doesn't matter if it's smoky or not.
Yeah.
To mix it with some like raspberry puree and turn it into a popsicle. You have this really soothing, you know, popsicle, and they don't even know because they're eating fruit. Yeah. It's not gonna make a difference. Like I said, I usually make them in large amounts, and I put them in ice cube trays and freeze them. Then I put them into a bag, and I label marshmallow root. And that way, if my throat is feeling irritated, or I have a cough, an irritated cough or anything, I can drop a couple in, put a little bit of warm water, wait till it melts down,
and then just drink it.
Drink it.
And it's easy because then you don't have to, like when you have a tickle in your throat, you need to take care of it now. You can't be like, okay, I'll take care of this in 8 hours.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll be back in 4 hours
it's
for that.
kind of nice to have something, like take advantage of the things that we have available today.
Yeah.
To make your life a little easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. So do that. All right. Now mullein. Here's another one. Mullein is great for an expectorant. So if you've gotten smoke in, or you have some sort of particles or something that's gone in and you need it to come out, especially when you're getting smoke in, your lungs are kind of building up that mucus. That's its job, right? To build up that mucus and to sort of trap those particles and trap that stuff in there. So now you need a way to expectorate, to get it out. Mullein is a wonderful, wonderful herb at doing this. And there are a lot of ways to get mullein in, from smoking it. I've tried that, and it really works. It really does. I didn't smoke it like a doobie or anything like that. I smoked it. I put it on a plate. You know, I started it on fire, and I inhaled it. Although people have rolled it and smoked it that way, I just
probably
didn't.
just as effective. I mean,
I imagine it is. The problem is that it really is. It is immediately effective, and you start coughing and coughing and coughing. And at first, it's kind of irritating, but it's getting all that garbage out of your lungs.
yes.
And that's what you need, especially if you're dealing with smoke and you've gotten exposed to that. So I'm going to show you really quick how to chop mullein the easy way. We are going to roll it like a cigarette. And then I just, you know, normally I'm doing a lot at one time, and so I'm rolling it kind of tight. In this case, I'm rolling it and then folding it, since I only have one leaf to show you. Can you see? Oh, yeah. And then just thinly slicing. This is almost like what you would do if you were making pasta with fresh herbs, and you kind of rolling it up like basil, or
yeah, then you can even cut it this way.
Exactly. And then I'm going to rotate just to make my life easier and chop it this way. One of the reasons why you want to chop the herb, and you want to chop it fairly fine, is so that you're exposing more of the herb to the menstruum, which is vodka, 100 proof vodka. Menstruum is whatever you're using to pull the medicine out, okay? Now, I'm using this jar here because I was planning on using a larger jar, sure. But like I said earlier, my dog peed on the mullein plant I was using, and we've got a lot of mullein. If you do not know what mullein looks like, look it up. I am sure you have it growing near you. And one clue is if you're driving around and you see those long stalks with yellow flowers along the top with big kind of furry leaves, that's mullein. Mullein leaves are best taken in the first year. They can be taken in the second year, but in the first year, they are a biennial plant. So that first year, it'll have large rosette leaves, and the second year, it'll start forming that rosette, but it'll make a long flower stalk and go to flower. So the first year leaves are the best to do. I want you to look at this because this is fairly full, and these are chopped. Okay, they're chopped up, and we've got it kind of stuffed in here. This is the 100 proof, which is 50% vodka, and I am going to start pouring. Normally, I would use a chopstick. Chopstick is like one of those tools that you really need to have in your house, especially if you're going to make medicine. Now, the reason I could fill this up as high as I did is because it's fresh. If I had dried this mullein leaf, there is no way in God's green earth you were going to get that much in there with the vodka.
In there.
Yeah, because as soon as I start pouring the vodka, it'll start expanding and growing. And this way, since I'm using fresh, the mullein is gonna be okay. I'm gonna fill it all the way to the top. And I think I have a plastic lid I can use. Oh yes, I do. And I'm going to cover it. Now, do like I say and not like I do sometimes. Label it immediately. Yes, we are in perfect sync. Mullein, and label it, mullein, fresh, mullein leaf, fresh. And then put like 50-50 or 50%, or you can put vodka 100 proof, and then put the date. And one of the things is, you guys, you need to do this today or as soon as possible because fire season's coming, and it needs 4 to 6 weeks to get fully saturated into that menstruum and have a good usable medicine. So when you get done, you don't have to shake this, and you don't have to shake it because it's fresh. If it wasn't fresh, if it was dried, you would need to shake it. But since it is fresh, you don't have to shake it. It can sit, it'll be okay. Leave it in a dark, temperature controlled, and it's not my house. Yeah, try to keep it as temperature controlled as you can, and let it sit for about 4 weeks. If it sits longer, that's perfectly fine, but minimum is 4 weeks, and that really pulls that medicine into the tincture and into the vodka.
And put the date.
Put the date, and sometimes I even put the date that I am going to take it off, so that I know when it's done.
So you don't have to. You can just be like,
exactly.
My past self is telling my future self exactly what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are 2 remedies that are super, super simple, and that you could probably go out right now and gather and use. Do know that the marshmallow I'm using is the Althea officinalis. However, there are local, kind of wild growing marshmallow that are easily exchanged. The what is it called? Malva neglecta is one that's very popular, or grows all over here, and it has those same kind of leaves, and you can use leaves to make this if you want to. You can even use the roots. They're just a lot smaller. They're not like the officinalis, which is a very large, generous root. So don't get caught up in necessarily having to grow your own or buy some online. Try to look around and see if you have some growing around you. Although I would highly suggest growing some of your own. Marshmallow is very easy to grow, and as a matter of fact, the other day when I had what were they, voles? Those little creatures. I don't know. And a mommy with her babies, I couldn't kill them. They made their nest in my hugelkultur bed where my marshmallow was. Yeah. And so I pulled up my marshmallow root, chopped it, and actually gave it to one of my students who was struggling with some respiratory issues and some things. And I took just the tops of this marshmallow, hoping that they would survive, and just replanted them somewhere completely different. And sure enough, they're leafing out. It was super, super simple. And they replanted themselves in 3 different places over by my hugelkultur bed. So they really don't mind growing really anywhere. So grow your own and try it out. Marshmallow root needs to grow for at least a year or two before the roots are usable, but the leaves are usable and so are the flowers. So, okay, if you need any help with, you're looking at, you've got some health issues or some struggles or problems and you'd like some some natural alternatives, I am available. I am taking clients again, so just click the Book Now button there on Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals and it'll guide you through. I'm on a sliding scale, so if you're tight on money, you know, I have that option. If you're well off,
We're gonna take all of it.
no, but I am on a sliding scale and I'm happy to work with you and help you because really my goal is to equip people to be able to take care of themselves, grow their own herbs for their own uses, or know how to wildcraft some things and make their own medicine. Also go to Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals and check out my website. I have some free things there and also some individual courses as well as my full herbal program that I'm really enjoying teaching this year. So if you have any comments or questions or anything, I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Is that where I am? Herbal Mon?
Yes.
I forget to post there a lot. Forgive me already. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. I'm hoping to make some things with violet that I've been gathering in my garden, and that's another really great herb to use for soothing sore and irritated throats. So until tomorrow, help enjoy.
Bye.
Yeah, it takes a second for us to actually go.